hi again. You keep coming back. It makes me question your decision-making skills, but whatever, I'm not going to judge today. Everybody else is doing the 20 interesting things about me. I don't have interesting things, but I do have 20 things. If you find them interesting, it's more of a reflection on you than me. Let's give it a shot. First one's kind of obvious. My favorite holiday is Halloween. I do up Halloween inside the house, outside the house. I am outside. I'm not an outside girl, but I am outside all night on Halloween when the kids are out, floofing about the yard, zhuzhing my fog machine and my spooky noises, and I have a light thing that goes on. I've got more pumpkins than I know what to do with. I love doing up Halloween, and it gets bigger and bigger every year. Last year we learned the power of lighting, and so I think we're going to take advantage of that this year. In fact, one of my bucket list things is I want to work in a haunted attraction. I mean, I would love to just work in a haunted house, like an actually haunted house, but I want to be covered in blood and screaming in a haunted attraction. I think I could be really good at dead. I think I could do that pretty well. And screaming, I think. I am left-handed. There's very little to be said about that. I own tarot cards, rune stones, and a pendulum, and I'm terrible at all three of them. In fact, one of the new things that I'm doing, one of the things I'm going to film after I finish doing this, is I'm kind of revisiting them because I got them when I was probably in my 20s, maybe late teens. You know, nothing resonated with me, nothing worked, but now I'm, 5 or 10 years older than that, so I thought I would give them another shot. So today I'm actually going to build on a tarot spread that I did a couple of weeks ago that has started to make sense to me. So I'm going to see if I can flesh out a few of the details today. Check the next video for that. Another thing you may have already guessed, I like all things Ouija. I have my Ouija banner. Actually, I have two of them. I have a Ouija blanket. I have a clock. I have a mug, I have a cup, it's the background on my phone. I like me some Ouija. The one thing I do not have is a Ouija board, because one of the things that really the only thing that Mark has ever asked of me is that I not bring a Ouija board in the house. He had a very bad experience when he was younger. I don't even know the details. That's how bad of an experience it is. And it still bothers him. And he asked me long time ago, just please don't bring one in the house. So I haven't, and I won't. He doesn't have a problem with the decorative things, and I guess as long as I can surround myself with my Ouija-ness, I'm good. I can live without one. I can live without one. I believe in psychics and mediums. I don't believe that everybody who tells me they're psychic is psychic, but I do believe they exist, and I think that ones that cultivate a good reputation are worth going to. But I have not been to a medium since my mother passed away many years ago because I am still not ready to talk to her. Oh yeah, she'd come through. Yeah. I have participated in several paranormal investigations, some of them in private houses, or house was one house, but multiple times there. Couple of times going out and just spending some time in local cemeteries, one of which we were thrown out of. And sometimes it's just doing EVP sessions here in the house. From the time we moved into this house, it was pretty clear that there is something here. I don't think it is like a human ghost spirit kind of thing. I think it's more like the house has its own spirit. It's almost 100 years old. It used to actually be a two-family, so it has seen a lot of people come and go, and I feel like that collective energy is what starts to become the spirit of the house, and I believe it has intelligence, and I believe that at some point I will be able to talk to it, or it will be able to talk back to me. I talk to it all the time. I am addicted to cameras. I have 2 camcorders, I have a trap cam, I have 2 security cameras / ghost cameras in the house. I have multiple cell phones that I use as cameras, one in the car as like a dash cam, one for vlogging. If it will record an image and sound, I am all over it. I have a Bachelor of Science degree in early childhood education. I'm gonna let that sink in. I could have been your kid's kindergarten teacher. Yeah, we all dodged a bullet there. I didn't actually end up getting a teaching job. I substituted for a while and I went to work for a school supply company, which was still the best job I ever had. And I started out working in their stores, and then I was, retail management coordinator. But eventually I ended up working on their websites, and that's how I got into web administration and design and whatnot, which is what I do now. I experience PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, although I guess now it's PTSS for syndrome, I think. I don't take medication for it. I just sort of roll through the depressive and anxiety laden sides of it. I'm still here. I function. I'm fine, I won't say I'm fine, but it's something I consciously deal with every day. But I am consciously dealing with it. So, that said, if your doctor has recommended you be on medication, you roll with that. If you don't agree with it, you discuss it with them. Don't just stop because some twit on the internet said something. Who is texting me? People texting while I'm talking serious things. I have asthma, arthritis, allergies. I'm lactose intolerant. I'm also sensitive to yellow number 5 and aspartame. One would think that I could not find enough things I can eat to be this size, and yet, here I am. Thanks, pizza. I am phobic about driving on highways. I can be a passenger in the car. If somebody else is driving, that's fine. I will work the radio, I will be your navigator, I will be the snack master. But I cannot drive on a highway. Something terrible will happen, someone will die. I won't be able to live with myself after that happens. So it's just best that I stick to back roads. I had to drive to Rhode Island once, which should be about a 45-minute drive. It took me an hour and a half on back roads, but I did it. I made a quilt once when I was 17. I did it without instructions or a background or, the internet or anything like that. I just got it in my head one day that I was going to make myself a quilt to take off to college with me, and that's what I did, and this is a picture of it. Don't laugh. It was a thing once. Those colors were perfectly reasonable then. But I did it in my tiny little bedroom with a rotary cutter and a old sewing machine that had terrible tension. And I used that for all 4 years of college. It's gone now. When I was a little kid, I was a magnet for stage shows. If we went to go see a magician, if we went to go see, we went to a dolphin show, we would go to, I don't know if anybody knows Storybook Land up in New Hampshire, we would go there to different things. Anything we went to that I was in an audience, I was getting pulled up on that stage. I was not a particularly attractive child. It's not like, I was some sort of, oh my god, we need to bring this little Drew Barrymore type that, nope, I was just a weird geeky kid. But they picked me out of every crowd to go up on those stages. And it was probably the best thing because it made me completely unafraid to be up on a stage. I was just used to it. So by the time I went to school and by the time I decided that I liked to act, being up on a stage was not a big deal to me. When I think it was the summer before I went into 6th grade, I wanted to have my ears pierced. My mother could not handle the idea of pierced ears. So my sister went into the Dazzle store at the plaza with me, and she stayed in there while I was getting my ears pierced. My mother stayed out in the mall with my niece, watching her while my sister was in there. The girl did it. You know, it pinched, but it didn't hurt that bad. I jumped up out of the chair. I ran out into the mall to tell my mother. I went, look, look. And before the second look came out of my face, I fainted. Dead away. Now, my niece, who was probably about 3 or 4 at the time, didn't know the word for fainting, but she knew vanished. So she told everybody that I vanished at the mall. People thought I had gone missing. I didn't. I just fainted at the mall. Because I did that is probably the one and only reason I don't have at least one tattoo by now, is because I am terrified of going to a tattoo parlor, getting 5 seconds into this, passing out and looking like an idiot. Most of the things in my life are dictated by the fact that I don't want to look like an idiot. Which is strange because I make videos on YouTube. Go figure. My favorite band is Rush. Has been for the past, let's say, decades. My very first Rush concert I went to with my very first real boyfriend when I was about 13. My mother was all up in arms because we were going all the way to Worcester. The very last time I saw them was the 40th anniversary tour, the Goodbye Tour, with my husband. So I have seen them, I think I was up to 13 times. 12 or 13 times I'd seen them. If they came back right now, I would buy the tickets. I have a pretty serious Stephen King addiction. I read all the books, have read all the books. Actually, that's a lie. I haven't read Gwendy's Button Box yet, but I'll get there. I've seen all the movies, good and bad, that they've made from his stuff. I watched Under the Dome. That was a questionable judgment on everyone's part. It's bad. It's bad because I read other authors and I'm disappointed because they don't write like he does. And I have no illusions about Mr. King. He can't write an ending to save his life. Ugh. But sometimes that's what I like about it, is that it's so open-ended. And the fact that with the Gunslinger series, everything got intertwined, everything got pulled in. Loved it. Loved every part of it. Usually the stuff that everybody hates about it is the stuff that I love. Love that he shows up in his own books. Stuff like that. I like it. But yeah, it causes me problems when I'm trying to read somebody else. I have been engaged 3 times. Only married once. We got married in the Albanian Orthodox Church. That's how I was raised. It was the church that my sister was married in and my mother was married in. We used the photography studio that my sister used and my mother used, although I had the worst wedding photographer ever. I don't even remember his name, but we called him Steve because he looked like Steve Martin. Which would have been great if he was even entertaining, but he wasn't. He was like a wet sponge just walking around behind us, taking pictures of nothing good. Whatever. Let me put in a picture of the altar if you're not familiar with the Eastern Orthodox Church. Yeah, that's a little impressive. That pushes all my pagan buttons. That is like theater. Love that altar. Love that church. The priest there is magnificent. I love him. Loved everything about it. It was a great wedding. It was an hour and 45 minutes. God bless the guests. At least they got to sit down. But it was a great time. I cannot handle people cracking their knuckles. I cannot handle it. If you do it in front of me, I want to go over the table at you. If you stand up and your shoulder cracks, fine, you know. Although, I don't know why your shoulder would crack if you stand up. Maybe you want to have that checked. Either way, if your body is doing something it naturally does, fine. But if you sit near me, anywhere near me, like in the same county, and you are crack-a-lacking your knuckles, like one at a time on the hand, you are disgusting and you need to stop. Maybe you're not disgusting, but your behavior is questionable. Please don't. It makes me want to vomit in your pocketbook. Don't do it. The very idea of mayonnaise makes me want to gag. The only way mentally I can counteract that is by thinking about mustard. In my world, mayonnaise is dirty and oily and disgusting. Mustard is clean. I don't claim to understand why, but if the gagging is going to start, I'm just going to think about mustard and I'll be fine. Also works with pickles. If I think about pickles, it's the vinegar thing. I don't know. It's nice and clean. The final thing that you might not know about me, or you might, I love a little drama. I mean, I don't want to be in the drama, but I'm okay with reading a little drama. Every once in a while, people get whipped up over at Stitch Mania about something, and I do love to read those big threads with people going back and forth. You know why? Not because it's petty and childish, although I will own that. It's sort of amusing. Because it is the only actual honesty on the internet sometimes. Because we are decent people and we try to preserve the peace. And that's a good thing. It is good. But every once in a while, somebody just gets honest and says, you know what? I'm calling you out on your bullshit. And somebody else freaks out and there's a lot of running around and it lasts like a day. Nobody gets hurt. Hopefully everybody's friends at the end again. But I like to see a bit of a brouhaha. And I say that not currently being a moderator of any sort of Facebook group or bulletin board, which is a thankless job and is not, if you know an administrator, give them a hug, buy them a latte, give them a needle minder. They're earning it, I guarantee it. Because people can get whiny and bitchy, and when they're not exposed to the group, they can backstabby. Oh my lord, I used to moderate a forum of like a religious conversation about different faiths, and everybody was welcome to come in and talk as long as you didn't act like a jerk. And as long as you don't act like a jerk means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But you know, behind other people's back, they will be reporting posts for the minorest. People are terrible. But I do kind of like to watch us fall apart once in a while. I also like to watch us pull ourselves back together and act like people. Alright, I have recorded this through twice. So I am going to pick the best pieces of both, string them together, hopefully Tuesday? Today is Sunday, so hopefully I'll do it Tuesday when I'm home from work, and get this thing posted maybe Wednesday. I had a video go live today, so you should make sure that you go check that out. Because today is Sunday, and if you're seeing this, it's Wednesday. Either way, there's other videos. Go watch them, please. I think that's about it. Like last time, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. You will be rewarded with outtakes as well, if there are any reasonable ones to be had. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much. Bye. Okay, missed the pet store, blah blah blah. Awkward. Oh good gravy, it's hot. Oh good gravy. I apologize for being dewy. It is no less than 85 degrees upstairs in my house. I don't have air conditioning in this room, and even if I did, recording with it on